Announces that all aspirants for the general elections will receive a provisional voter register on Thursday, November 13. Government announces a state funeral for late former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings to be held on November 28 at the Independence Square. In business tonight, Chamber of Construction Industry welcomes the ongoing audit into government payables, but demands further details on over 5 billion cedis in commitments for the Roads Ministry, rejected by Auditor General. And later in the bulletin, Cameroon's... We bring you the details of these and much more news here on News Tonight. Do stay with us. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. We are live all across the world on Facebook and X at GHOne TV. Let's get started this evening. The Cape Coast Circuit Court 2, presided over by Nanaba Kweba Nonu, has sentenced 26-year-old Eric Asamoah to 16 years imprisonment in hard labor for sodomy. The convict pleaded guilty to the charge of defilement and was convicted on his own plea. According to the prosecution team led by Chief Inspector Simon Sate, the incident occurred on November 3, 2025 at Mankesim in the Infanseman municipality of the Central Region. The suspect was tracked and arrested with the assistance of the victim's father. The 7-year-old victim was immediately taken to the Salt Pond Municipal Hospital for medical examination and treatment, where he is said to be responding well to care. Prosecutors stated that during interrogation, Eric admitted to the offense in his caution statement, leading to swift prosecution. Subsequently, the accused pleaded guilty to the charge of defilement and was convicted on his own plea to a 16-year prison term in hard labor. The Central Regional Police Command has assured the public that due process was followed to ensure justice for the victim and reiterated its commitment to protecting children from sexual abuse and exploitation. In some other news tonight, Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment George Opare-Addo has revealed alarming statistics on substance abuse use among young people, disclosing that 37% of senior high school students and 41% of university students have engaged in drug use. He explained that the data underscores the urgent need for a coordinated national response to address the growing problem of youth substance abuse. Now, according to Mr. Opare-Addo, many teenagers are experimenting with harmful substances, including alcohol, marijuana, synthetic pills such as the popular Red 225, and in some cases, hard drugs like cocaine and heroin on school campuses.
Substance abuse among young people in secondary schools and tertiary institutions is a growing concern. Young people are increasingly using harmful substances such as alcohol, marijuana, various narcotics, and especially synthetic pills like Red 225, popularly known as Unim Red, which causes dangerous numbness and detachment. Although poverty, unemployment, and emotional stress contribute to this issue, many of these drugs are expensive and widely available, suggesting a systematic problem within social networks and supply chains that reach educational campuses and communities. National data reveals high levels of drug awareness and exposure. 41% of our tertiary students and 37% of our senior high school students have encountered drug use.
Deputy Defense Minister Ernest Gyamfi says his ministry has adopted a comprehensive contingency framework in collaboration with other security agencies to preempt and respond to potential security threats arising from ongoing political tensions in the country. Addressing Parliament, Mr. Gyamfi disclosed that the Ghana Armed Forces has been tasked to intensify surveillance and secure the country's borders to prevent any form of external infiltration or destabilization.
Mr. Speaker, the recent situation in Togo, if escalated, poses potential security, social and economic risk to Ghana, including refugee inflows, cross-border crimes, and other destabilizing effects. The Ministry of Defense, working closely with other security and intelligence agencies, has therefore adopted a comprehensive contingency framework to preempt and respond to any adverse effects of this risk. This framework, I must emphasize, is preventive, proactive, and multidimensional in nature, and seeks to uphold the peace and security of our dear nation.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister also reveals that repair works on the country's presidential jet is done and currently undergoing testing and will soon return to the country.
This encounter, Dassault Aviation invited the Falcon Wing original equipment manufacturer to the Dassault Falcon Services hangars to enable the OEM conduct an on-site assessment of the right-hand wing lower panel and provide independent technical recommendations aimed at expediting the repair and reinstallation process. The repair from the OEM has been successfully carried out, and the right-hand wing repair has also been completed. Mr. Speaker, upon the completion of this rectification, the aircraft has to undergo a leak test of the fuel tanks, a third engine ground run, painting of the wing lower panel, and finally an acceptance flight will be performed. Right Honourable Speaker, the Falcon 900 executive aircraft will return to Ghana after all the necessary tests. Thank you.
We're still live here on News Tonight on GHOne TV. Let's turn to some other stories this evening. Chairman of the NPP Presidential Elections Committee, Joseph Osei-Owusu, has announced that all aspirants for the upcoming January presidential elections will receive a provisional voter register on Thursday, November 13. This, according to the committee, is to allow aspirants verify details and provide feedback before the final compilation of the register. He further stated that party members who have forfeited their membership will not be eligible to vote in the upcoming presidential elections. He made this disclosure while providing updates on the progress of the committee ahead of the presidential election process.
The committee has held engagements with both the Electoral Commission and the Ghana Police. These consultations have yielded highly productive outcomes, ensuring the process remains orderly, peaceful, and credible. Security arrangements. We are pleased to inform all party sympathizers, stakeholders, aspirants, and the public that the Ghana Police Service has been granted exclusive jurisdiction over the D-Day election security. No private or unauthorized security arrangements will be permitted at any voting center who have passed on, as well as others who have forfeited their membership pursuant to Article 391 of the party's constitution. In the interest of full transparency and fairness, all aspirants will be furnished with the provisional voter register on Thursday, November 13. 2 weeks will be provided for verification, observation, and feedback before finalizing the register. Members who have forfeited their membership under Article 391 shall be excluded from the process. Therefore, they shall not participate in or vote in the presidential election on Saturday, January 21st, 2026.
Well, let's stay on issues regarding the NPP flag bearership race. And joining me in studio is communication team member with the Ken Ejipong campaign. That's George AC. He joins me in studio now for further discussions on this. Good evening to you.
Yeah,
and
good evening,
thanks for joining
sister.
here on News Tonight. Now, first of all, what's your general satisfaction as per these announcements that have been made by the party? Your camp earlier demanded for the sanctioning of 2 regional chairmen, allegedly manipulating with regards to the voter register. Are you satisfied currently?
Good evening to you. Good evening to our viewers and your production crew. Yes, it's very encouraging that the committee will come up to assure all the candidates that the register is going to be made available to all the candidates and their teams so they can scrutinize and get to know who is eligible to be on the register and who is not. So you have ample time to be able to do the auditing of all these members on the register. That is very encouraging and forward-looking.
Right. So you say you're glad with
we're
regards
good.
to that.
That's what it should be. And the timeliness of it is also very important. And so 13th November is enough time for all the parties involved to be able to scrutinize the register properly and be able to challenge anyone that they think is not eligible to be on the register so they can, get the person out.
Now, ahead of the 13th, are there any other key pressing issues which come up to you, particularly within the Ken Ejipong team?
Oh, no. So far, we're very focused on our campaign. Our candidate is moved to almost about 9 or 10 regions. Currently in the Volta region, we'll be storming the Eastern region from the 13th of this month. So we're focused on our messaging, on our campaigning, and then doing all the necessary things that will get the delegates to get our message and believe that he is the man for the moment.
And you feel you've done sufficient work, given that
you
mentioned visiting some regions the 13th of this month?
Yes.
You feel like enough work has been done?
No, we're on. There's more to be done. You get it. There's more. But so far, so very good. So far, so very good. And the message has been accepted very well across. In fact, some were saying the 5 northern regions were going to be a no-go area for the Honorable Ken Ejipong. But when he went there, they received him so well, and it was so encouraging. And that is something that is gingered the team to know that, yes, we need to roll up our sleeves and continue to do what we're doing and do it better. We're putting our shoulders to the wheel until the last whistle is blown. We are not giving up.
Now, in spite of this reception that you say has been rather positive, what are where do you foresee there being some poor reception in terms of given the personality and how he's,
no, to be honest,
the message
with you,
that's being sent by him?
Yeah, the message has been very good. But when we started on a very excellent note in the Western North, and then Ahafo was fantastic. It was the Bono and then the Bono East that were a bit, not as
when you say
Western
the
North.
reception wasn't.
Yes, as Western North and then Ahafo. That was the beginning. You get it. Since then, it picked up again, and so everywhere we went now has been very, very good.
Now, certainly you belong to the Kennedy and Ejipong camp. So,
yes.
But in the event of another of those contesting being selected as flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, what sort of disposition of level of support and engagement should we expect to see from your candidate?
Oh, no. My candidate has done it before. The last election he contested, he got about 38%. Okay, he was part of the team for Dr. Baumia. He went everywhere campaigning for him. You get it. He is a passionate party person. You see, sometimes when he speaks, people misunderstand him. If you were contributing the kind of money my candidate pumps into the MPP, into the party, and people misbehave and do things that would derail the progress of the party, what would be your reaction? Okay? So it's a natural reaction that sometimes, and he fights for the ordinary people. You get it? Sometimes say, look, Attend to the grassroots. They own the party. Decisions that we make must be tailored to their good and their benefit. You get it? When he speaks about this passionately, people tend to misunderstand him. And then there was a case where somebody, as an elder senior person of the party, meets the party people in my region, the Eastern region. Okay, a respected party person like Nana Mafu meets you, my sister, and you have the audacity to record him and give it to opposition radio to play. Okay, that's what he spoke about. That minim crash, you get it? That's popular comment, and people are now using it against him. He's explained the circumstance. In fact, he was at the National Council the same Monday, and he went there. When he explained, they said, oh, we didn't know that was the context. You get it? He said, how can anybody
You don't find that this
that?
nature of speech presents some form of a stumbling block to his...
Oh, no. The past is past. Let me be honest with you. When we got on board with him, some of us raised our reservations. That A, B, C, D boss, we would rather you stare off those ones. You get it? Go in for it. And he said, look, we are prosecuting a campaign. Anything you think ain't right, let me know. I'm going to do it so that we can do a collective teamwork and sell our message to the people. Okay? He's listening to all of us. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you bring the issue on the table and you're able to convince him, he takes it. Okay? There are certain things he says on the campaign trail that I know we had discussions in-house. You get it? We thought he was not going to take it. But when he started going around, he was talking about them. You get it? It made a lot of us excited. Those of us who were at the meeting, some would think, oh, these small boys and co. He listens to everybody. You get it? And he's even more passionate about the young people. He tells you, look, go. This is your time. Go and look at the demographic and see the number of young people that are going to vote because they listen to your language. Go and speak your language to them.
Now, beyond him, beyond your candidates, what's from where you sit, your general impression of the state of unity within the New Patriotic Party?
My sister, the name? I'm sorry, forgive me.
Natalie.
What?
Natalie.
Hey. Forgive me, Natalie. The voice rang.
That's okay, no, carry on.
I'm sorry, yeah, from somewhere.
Right.
Good, Natalie. It's not the best of things, to be honest with you.
You think
people have been complaining about the way that is not NPP. The NPP are new growing up is a group of, forgive me, but intellectuals, academics, lawyers, okay? Brilliant guys. Brain, argument.
Intellectuals.
Put it on the table. Make your point. I make my counterpoint. But today, we have people within the NPP insulting elders left, right, center, and you think that is characteristic of the NPP? No. And we cannot be happy of that. You get it? We cannot be excited about that. And so we challenge the executive of the party to put their foot down and rein everyone, including myself, including the Honorable Ken Ohene Japan, any of them, into order, because we need a disciplined party. And that is the preoccupation of the Canadian Japan's vision. While for the party,
it's discipline within the party.
Discipline within the party.
And
some have been saying some of his comments, they said, oh, if you listen to him well, issues of indiscipline, he abhors them. You get it? We need to build a very disciplined party. Okay? That is one of his key objectives. And that he's not going to mince words on that. You remember the committee chairman just said the amnesty granted to some people, they will not have opportunity to vote now.
Yes.
I agree with him. I think it's good. But beyond the 31st, I think I've heard Chairman Afoko going to contest for national chairman. And I'm excited about that. You get it? Even though I have Boachi, I'm excited about Boachi Ejako coming and John Boedu coming. These are fine party people. Let us bring our party back to the Ajenim Boateng days, Odoi Sykes, Alajete,
point clearly made. We'd have to wrap it up for purposes of time. But you say this is not the NPP.
This is not the NPP.
It lacks unity and discipline, you say.
No, for now, that's difficult. It's challenged. You get it. And we need to up our game and restore that. Anybody Nobody should be seen to be above board. No matter whose ox is God, we need to rein the person in.
George, we'd have to wrap it up here. Thank you for your time this evening. George,
forgive me for not recognizing you, Natalie.
Communications team member with the Ken Ejapong campaign, joining us here on News Tonight. Do stay with us. Welcome back to News Tonight here on GHOne TV. In Insights this evening, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition says the government is taking concrete steps to recover funds owed to the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and the state, following the final ruling by the London Court of International Arbitration in the Power Distribution Services, that's PDS, dispute. The LCIA tribunal dismissed all claims filed by PDS against ECG and ruled that the demand guarantees underlining the 2019 concession were void ab initio, meaning invalid from the outset, giving Ghana the legal rights to terminate the agreement. In a statement on Thursday, November 6, 2025, the ministry slammed the poor decision made under the erstwhile Akufo-Addo government for causing financial loss. The ministry emphasized that all necessary legal and administrative steps are being taken to recover any amounts due to the ECG and the state as a result of this process, while reaffirming its commitments to accountability, transparency, and sustainable energy reforms in line with President John Dramani Mahama's development agenda. The PDS concession, introduced in 2019 as part of Ghana's second MCC compact, was intended to bring private investment and efficiency into ECG's operations. It was, however, terminated months later after government investigations revealed irregularities in the financial guarantees presented by PDS, leading to the loss of the $190 million MCC compact support. Meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has commented on the failed Power Distribution Services PDS concession, stressing that the initiative itself was not inherently flawed, but collapsed due to mismanagement and personal interest. Reflecting on the lessons from the experience, the president said the PDS model had potential, but was mishandled by those entrusted with its implementation. The president further underscored the potential benefits of private sector involvement in public utilities, citing examples where such partnerships have improved efficiency and reliability in service delivery.
Let me also comment on what is possible if the public and private sector work together. I know that there was an attempt to involve private sector in power utility and at the distribution level. And we all remember the example with PDS. PDS was not a bad thing. It is just that it was handled wrongly, and many people had personal interest in PDS, and that's why it failed. But there's something to be said for injecting private sector efficiency into public utilities. And I gave an example before. Enclave Power buys bulk electricity from the power utilities and distributes it within the free zones enclave, and has a 99% collection rate of bills. And the lights are always on in the industrial enclave. And so the industries there have a high ratio of power, and they don't see blackouts the way other places do. And so there's something to be said for private sector participation in utilities, not only for electricity, but even for water.
Meanwhile, management of the Power Distribution Service has rejected the tribunal's ruling as it serves notice to review and appeal the decision of the court. My colleague Isaac Abila joins me in studio now with a copy of the statement issued by the PDS. Abila, so first of all, what exactly has been the response by management of PDS following this?
Well, Natalie, PDS are saying that they've been vindicated by the ruling that is made by the arbitrator in London following what happened. And so they are saying that with the Power Distribution Services, that's the PDS, who engaged with ECG for the concession agreement in 2019, what happened is that the government of Ghana, in few months later, terminated the agreement.
Right.
Following certain fraudulent claims they said the PDS had engaged in, and that is why they terminated the contract. So that led to the international arbitration in London, where the PDS took the government of Ghana, specifically the ECG, to. So yesterday, 5th November 2025, the PDS released a statement with the heading "PDS Vindicated," and what they are capturing is that the ruling has vindicated them because PDS had stated, ECG had stated that they lied in their documents. But then, when the international arbitrator released their report, it captured that an independent investigators were involved, and when they finished, they realized that PDS did not actually lie, but then they were sincere with the documents they submitted to ECG. And so they did not lie in whatever they did. And so what they are saying is that even though they've received the judgment, they've received the outcome of the arbitration, they cannot say that they've completely accepted whatever the arbitrator is bringing.
Okay.
But then they are reviewing it with their lawyers. And if it warrants, if there is a need that they appeal or take further actions, then they will act on the advice of their lawyers and take those actions, and not just sit with the outcome that has come from the international arbitrator.
Right.
So actually, that is what happened. And the ECG too, Energy Ministry too has been speaking.
Yes.
Releasing a statement, which is today, also saying that they blame the previous government that going into that concession agreement with PDS was not even needed, because that was something that was not even needed.
Right.
So in summary, PDS is saying that they've been vindicated
So
because they did not lie.
Sorry for interrupting, but they say they've been vindicated, and meanwhile, they still seek to contest this and challenge this.
They still seek to contest, and that is where we have those piece of contradictions in the statement by the PDS and the Energy Ministry, because they said they've been vindicated and that they did not lie. And then the Energy Ministry says that the ECG shouldn't have even involved into that concession agreement with PDS. And so we see that there are those contradictions in there. And however, PDS says they've been vindicated by the thing, but then they are still going to review. So actually, that's what PDS is saying.
Isaac Abila, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed with the details on that and the response from PDS. Well, let's still stay on this. Let's get onto the phone lines now and speak to spokesperson and head of communications for the ministry, Richmond Roxon. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining here on News Tonight. Now, PDS is contesting this ruling, ready to seek redress in spite of having expressed being vindicated. What's your reaction to this?
Good evening to you, and good evening to your cherished listeners. Viewers. The arbitral award is clear and unambiguous. PDS went to court. They went to the arbitration to seek certain reliefs or make certain claims. Those claims were dismissed in its entirety. That is the first point that the tribunal made. And so if they claim that they are studying the final award by the arbitration, that's in their own right to do so. Whatever legal steps they want to take, it's available to them. But they were unsuccessful. However, they want to mislead the public. They went to they served the notice of arbitration. They went to LCIA to seek these claims. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful.
Right. Now, Richmond...
Government welcomes this decision. We shouldn't have been here in the first place, because if you look at the processes that commenced in 2014 when we had about $500 million to the MC to improve the power and energy sector, to the processes that the government had been engaging to select a concessionaire.
Right. Now, Richmond, So for purposes of time, and I'd like to ask that you kindly speak up. It appears we're having a bit of difficulty hearing you. However, following this ruling, what measures are you going to put in place in terms of recovering any amount that is due the state?
The Office of Attorney General has the mandate to do that. If you look at Article 88 of our Constitution, the principal legal advisor to the government, and also when it comes to prosecution, the Attorney General is responsible for that. For us as a ministry, all the necessary support and necessary measures will be put in place, support the Attorney General to ensure that through administrative decisions, through administrative process, and then also legal process, every single penny is recovered. The option of going to court is available. The option of enforcing the arbitral award is available. The option of writing to them to recover all assets in their possession is available. And I'm sure that appropriate member, Attorney General, will exercise the right and then go through the appropriate process to recover every asset with PDS.
Very well. Richmond Roxon, thank you for your time this evening. Head of Communications for the Ministry joining us there. That wraps up Insights. Do stay with us on News Tonight. Watching News Tonight, the senior project manager for Lightwave eHealthcare, Eric Ejay, says the company has done nothing wrong under its contract with the government. According to him, despite several attempts, Lightwave has not had the opportunity to meet with the health minister, Akando, since he took office. Mr. Ejay adds that the minister went ahead to conduct an audit without giving the company access to the report. He was responding to the minister's recent claims during the Government Accountability Series.
Since we started, we have been meeting at least, if not at all. There is a steering committee which comprises of the Director General of Ghana Health Service, the executive directors of the Christian Health Association of Ghana, all CEOs of the teaching hospitals, and IT managers of the Ministry of Health in this meeting. We have been doing this with all ministers that have come into this office. Since this minister came into office, we have not had a single opportunity to meet him, to brief him about the project and where we are. We have made several efforts since the minister came into office, and the only time we had an opportunity to meet the minister was on an invitation that was extended on the 3rd of September this year, after about 9 months of being in office. And even before that engagement, even though the minister has not met us for any update, or neither has he invited any meeting, has gone ahead to do an audit, which we don't have any problem at all. We requested for a copy of the audit report. He said no, he's not going to give us a copy, and that he has sent it to Attorney General for advice, yet speaks to the contents of the audit and expect that Lightwave has done something wrong. But per the contract that we have, there's nothing that we have done untoward.
So live here on News Tonight, we bring you business news next.
Going to the library.
Okay. I'm going for my graduation. Go well.
Education changes stories, and being part of these stories is the real passion for us. MTN.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
You're welcome back to News Tonight. In business news this evening, the Auditor General has given a strict deadline of November 7, 2025 for contractors and suppliers to justify outstanding claims, commitments and bank transfer advices submitted for payment for works and services executed for government agencies. This comes on the back of a move to ensure accountability by the Ministry of Finance to control government spending. According to the ministry, some claims have been rejected while others remain under review. Affected entities are urged to submit supporting documents through their respective MDAs to the Ghana Audit Service for final validation. Member of GHOne's research team, Emmanuel Ejabing, shared insights on the report earlier today.
This whole order stemmed from the fact that when government came into power, after first looking at the books, realized we are a new government. We cannot jump and pay people when we don't even know whether we are going to get this amount of money in terms of revenue. Right. So for the year ended December 2024, the understanding is that these payables change the look when it comes to our primary balance. So if you look at how much the government is raising as compared to how much it's spending, the amount that was coming in, we didn't want to have a negative figure. But then this figure, the payables as of last year was sending it into a negative figure. So he was looking at really having a surplus. So you can say Forcenomics at play. The initial figure that they were estimating was around 67 billion. But from the Auditor General's interim report, we are seeing around 90 billion Ghana cedis in government payables as of last year, December 31, 2024. Now, out of that 90 billion, the Auditor General did an 8-week intensive work with EY, with then PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, both global accounting firms. Now, they have 12.1 billion Ghana cedis in those claims rejected. And the Auditor General has just one page given a note to the entire 531-page document. The rest are just numbers. Wow. Yeah, so you are not exactly able to tell why he rejected those claims. But then obviously it could be that they are either dubious, there are payments that were being requested for works not done, or they could be payments without payment orders, a lot of budgeting issues. So you could leave it to many assumptions over there. So 12.1 billion is what he rejected. But if you look at the entire 90 billion, 66% of that 90 billion goes to road contractors. Wow. Yes, so out of that 90 billion, 66% are debts owed to road contractors. So they have a case. But of course, the Auditor General has given them up to tomorrow, November 7, to come and provide documentation. And then if you're able to validate exactly what you're saying, they check, and you are justifying, that means the government will make those payments available.
Well, let's stay on this issue a while longer. CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, joins me now via Zoom for this conversation. Now, good evening to you. First of all, your members have expressed some concern regarding this process. What are those concerns? And if you could briefly share what your thoughts are on this November 7 deadline, which is just a few hours away.
Yeah, thank you very much. And first of all, let me take this opportunity to thank you so much for holding the fort for the entire country at large. One thing is the concerns that we as a chamber has against or about this happens to be the timing. Because government, as we said some time ago, between you and I on one of the interviews or other platforms, there were a number of discussions that went into this. And then you and I know that anytime I talk government changes, there are certain things that normally comes, these orchestrations normally comes to being, and then it's not something that is normal to us. So it's nothing new per se, as per the practice that we, envisaged in the past. So therefore, we were anticipating this somewhere July, because government has committed a technical team, into auditing all this particular asset and the liability. So therefore, we were expecting the final report to be submitted, and then the findings and the recommendations would have quickly be also implemented accordingly. Right. So it was based upon that the Ministry of Roads and Highways received these authorizations from the finance based upon some of the shortlisted, and then forwarded to finance to pay. Meanwhile, aside that, there were also certain IPPs and what have you that were challenged. So these are the few that has been challenged, which are, going through this particular process. We normally say it's a process of validation. You need to go and do head count to make sure that your IPC with all the
Mr.
supporting
Cherry,
documents...
just briefly, apologies for interrupting, but we'd have to draw it up for purposes of time. But you say that you were expecting this November 7 deadline. You're not particularly surprised.
Yeah, because we were expecting somewhere July, but not this November, because November is getting to the close of the year. And then if it drags this far, it can affect the portfolio of contractors, you see. So that is where our worry is. But this is a norm. It's a norm that we know that is a practice within the system. So it's nothing new, sincerely.
Emmanuel Cherry, thank you for your time this evening. We'll certainly engage subsequently. That wraps up business for tonight.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In some more news this evening, government will hold a state funeral for the late former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings on Friday, November 28, 2025 at the Independence Square. This announcement was made by Felix Kwakye-Fosu, Minister of Government Communications, in the statement today, Thursday, November 6. The state funeral, according to the presidency, honors Mrs. Rawlings' lifelong dedication to women and children rights and her contribution to national development. She passed away on Thursday, October 23, 2025 at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital following a short illness. As First Lady, she founded the 31st December Women's Movement in 1982, championing women's empowerment, promoting literacy, supporting business startups, and advocating for inheritance rights as well as equal opportunities. She remained politically active after her husband's presidency, serving as the first vice chairperson of the National Democratic Congress before forming the National Democratic Party in 2012 and later contesting the 2016 presidential election. So rest in peace. We've got sports news next.
Welcome to sports. We begin with some volleyball news where Calibi women's volleyball team have been crowned winners of the Gava Volleyball Super Cup after defeating the Ghana Army team. There is more in this report.
After a remarkable campaign in the Greater Accra Volleyball Association League, clinching the championship title with 68 points, Calibi Volleyball Club carried their momentum into the Champion of Champions tournament, where they faced the Army women's team, winners of the Gava Knockout competition. The clash was intense, filled with drama and heated moments, as fans voiced their frustrations over a controversial officiating decision. In the end, the thrilling encounter stretched to 5 sets, with the contest including 3-2 in favor of Calibi. After the game, President of Calibi Volleyball Club, Bernard A. Mona, expressed his disappointment with how the league concluded.
Let me express my disgust at the Greater Accra Volleyball Association for the despicable thing that they have done this evening. You organize this. This is supposed to be a match or a game that is supposed to be played at neutral ground. When I raised concern about why you decided that we should play the game at the home of Army, you kept mute on the platform. We came here, you can all see the intimidations that the team went through. Still, they showed character. They were concentrating on their game. They won their game. Soon after the game, there's no Greater Accra representative here. It has to take the general to now come and present a trophy on behalf of the Greater Accra Volleyball Association. If this is how they want to manage volleyball, I can tell you that the future of volleyball in Greater Accra will come to a knot.
The general team manager of Kalibi Volleyball Club
have unveiled the shortlist for the FIFA Best Awards for the footballers, recently annually to be done, and will be done somewhere in January of this year. The 11 players who are vying for the award in January are Ousmane Dembele of PSG, Achraf Hakimi, Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Nuno Mendes, Opama, Pedri, Rafinha, Mo Salah, Vitinha, and of course Lamine Yamal. Champions League winning coach Luis Enrique Miwa highlights the men's Best Coach Award alongside Liverpool's Arne Slot, Mikel Arteta of Arsenal, and Hansi Flick of Barca, all giving nominations. Meanwhile, for the women's nominations, it's heavily made up of Arsenal, Chelsea, and Barca stars, with Ballon d'Or winner Tatiana Bonmati leading the pack for the Ballon d'Or for the women's Best Player nominations released by FIFA just this evening. And that should be it for us in sports.
Cameroon's longtime leader, Paul. And that is how we wrap up News Tonight this evening. Many thanks to you for making the time. Lots more news available on starfm.com.gh. It was produced by Bernice Abubedu Lanta and Emmanuel Ejabing. I'm Natalie Fort. Have a wonderful evening.